More women than ever before are locked up in America.
I was in jail for 2.5 months, away from my kids. I lost my apartment. I lost my job.
80% of them are mothers. Many haven't even been convicted of a crime.
I am 100%, 1,000% convinced that women who are locked up in cages cannot get the wellness that they need in that place.
When I think of the many things that happen to Black women in jail who just disappear, I started to panic.
And with good reason.
No one was paying attention. They didn't care. They just didn't care. I believe she was ignored to death.
Being locked up has a profound impact, not just on these women, but on their kids as well.
They see the mom getting hauled off. It takes years for those sorts of traumas to heal.
You have mothers that can't get to their children. They're not a flight risk. Why are they still sitting in jail? I don't understand it. I really don't.
I'm a hard-working mom. I got into a simple car accident that could have happened to anybody out here, and they threw me into jail like I was a hardened criminal.
Jasmine Borden is a single mom in St. Louis, Missouri.
When you're a single parent, you have to take both responsibilities. So like, I'm the mom, I'm the dad, I gotta be the soft parent and the hard parent.
Jasmine sat in jail for 2 months because she couldn't make bail.
Where am I supposed to get this money from? People don't have $500 just stored away. They be like, oh, that's nothing. Well, that is something when you're working check to check.
The average income for women who can't afford bail is $11,000. That's well below the poverty line.
My biggest concern was like, dang, are my kids okay? I don't have family out here in St. Louis. You know, like everybody has an auntie, an uncle, a cousin. So it was stressful to me because for one, I didn't know where my kids was. If people had let them get into the system, if the people that I was saying were my friends were trying to abuse them or neglect them. So that type of stuff was going on through my head.
Jasmine's charges were later dropped, but the impact of her time in jail is still being felt 2 years later.
I had to rebuild everything, and I'm still rebuilding.
By the time she got out, she'd been evicted. All of her things had been sort of ransacked and sent away. Her children had been moved across the country to live with her sister in Las Vegas. She lost her job. And this is all, again, without any serious charge. People's entire lives are uprooted and destroyed simply because of a criminal allegation.
Blake Strode heads a civil rights law firm that's suing St. Louis over conditions at the jail where Jasmine was locked up.
If you can imagine something that might take place in your worst conception of a jail, we've heard those stories from people in the workhouse as an uninhabitable, hellish, horrible place.
And that's the case across many jails in America. Once inside, women don't have access to basic care.
They give you 2 pads for your whole menstrual cycle that you end up using toilet paper in order to supplement for what's not happening.
And it can be even harder on pregnant women. Many states still shackle women while they're giving birth.
In the time that Jasmine spent in the workhouse, there were multiple women who were pregnant. One woman actually was leaking fluid and didn't receive the medical care that she needed. Another woman miscarried her child.
And transgender individuals can suffer all kinds of physical and emotional abuse in jail.
Her self-determination around her gender is oftentimes ignored. They're placed in men's facilities. There are trans women who are continuously denied access to hormones. I am 100%, 1,000% convinced that women who are locked up in cages, they are not being treated and cannot get the wellness that they need in that place.
Janice Dotson Stevens was one of those women.
I just want answers. I want to know why and how the system failed my mother. My mother was in jail on a simple trespassing charge. She was nonviolent. She wasn't a flight risk. So why is she sitting there anyway on a $300 bond, $30 to get out?
The Texas grandmother was never found guilty of a crime, but she stayed in jail for 5 months until the day she died.
My mom suffered for over 40 years of mental illness. She refused to go to court, refused to see a lawyer. She wasn't competent to make any decisions. She went over, I believe, 151 days without her medication. So every day she sat there, her mental state worsened with each day that passed.
Janice lost 136 pounds while she was in jail. Almost a pound every day.
So that tells me again that she wasn't eating and no one was paying attention. I believe she was ignored to death.
Folks who are poor, who have serious mental illness, are seen as disposable. They're seen as people that can simply be discarded and treated as if they don't exist.
It took 40 days for the jail to order a mental health evaluation for Janice. And even then, there's no record the evaluation was ever completed.
There's nothing correctional about our correctional facilities. There's nothing rehabilitative about these facilities. They are purely places to warehouse people that we don't want to deal with.
31% of women in jail suffer from a serious mental illness. Compare that to the rest of the country, where it's less than 5%.
The bail system, the way they treat mentally ill people is a tragedy. It's like they put a Band-Aid on it. They get sick, they go to the hospital, they get well, they come back, get sick again, go back to the hospital, come back, sick again. It's just a back and forth thing. They just put a Band-Aid on it. They just put a Band-Aid on it.
When I think of the black women who have died in jails, Sandra Bland, the many things that happen to black women in jail who just disappear, I started to panic.
There's no universal standard of care for people who need mental health treatment in jail. That's something that largely went unnoticed until the death of Sandra Bland. Sandra died in jail while waiting for her family to come up with $500 for bail. A Texas law passed in her name says if someone who's arrested is showing signs of mental illness, officials must get them to treatment outside of jail.
My wife came to visit me. When I walked away from that visit, the deputy asked me, "Clinton, you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not. There is nothing you can do for me other than get me out of here to my family. I need to get out of here before I lose my kid."
Lisa Clinton is a mother in Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm like the rock in my family, so if I'm gone, they feel insecure and scared.
1 in 9 black children has a parent behind bars.
We see it on paper like, oh, this woman charged with this thing. It has long-term impacts, especially on young people and children.
Studies show that kids with a mom who are locked up are more likely to drop out of school and have a higher chance of ending up behind bars themselves.
They see the mom getting hauled off. It takes years for those sorts of traumas to heal.
In 2017, Mary Hooks started a campaign to bail out black moms who are disproportionately impacted by the bail system. Lisa is one of those moms.
I never heard or imagined any organization that really cared this much about women. When I realized that there was a Mary Hooks, I literally had to pinch myself.
After her release, Lisa was hired as a regional bailout coordinator for Mary's organization.
I understand what every mom in jail goes through because I've been that mother in jail, and I understand how important it is just for someone to pick up that phone.
I mean, I'm not saying it's an easy thing to solve because it boils down to what do? You can't lock them up forever. They're human beings. I just wish we could find a way. We need change, especially in the jail system. We need change.
In part 3 of our series, we meet organizers who are changing the conversation around what bail reform and public safety means.
We can win. This is more than a chant. This is more than like a huddle or a protest. We actually can win, and we will.
Hey guys, this is Angie. Bail is what kept all of these moms behind bars. If you want to know more about how the bail system works, head back to our first episode in this series. And if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to AJ Plus.